White folks talk on being greeted as an unbought slave. This is the other side of the general naming block. In that video, I taught you how I dealt with the individual, and I was gentler than I would have been because our families have considerable history, and I respect that. But this is the video about how that made me feel. And I've waited a few days so that I can break this out to you in a way that can be helpful to you. So, what was the status of being a slave? You existed purely for the purposes and pleasures of your master. I am the color that I am, as opposed to a rich, dark African hue close to my hair, because of the reality of how our foremothers are treated. Now, I don't resent the beautiful color of my skin, but it is not a pure African hue. Too much went on. That's what our foremothers had to deal with while being worked to death, while having their children taken from them. And although generally white men are not approaching us the same way, there are some. That's why somebody got the next time block where there was no next time. That still happens. But it is very painful to endure it from one's own, quote unquote, brothers. It's been 3 times in a relatively short period of time that Black men that I used to know, twice recently, the other one is a little bit further back. That poor man disappeared. Yeah, I hard blocked. I tend to hard block people on there. Dump truck block, he got that particular block, and the other one got the general name and block. So next time block, because all of these men came to me. One, literally, we have a mutual acquaintance that we just found out we're members of the same family. He gonna come with demands. That did not come out well for him. That was a mistake. He disappeared even from my cousin's life. That rattled him so bad. She told me he couldn't believe it. He thinks he's this and he's that, and he's involved with this fraternity and so forth. He's never been. I'm like, I'm sure he hasn't. And so what? Y'all saw me. Hottest spot in the nation. Try that foolery on me. The second one got told off and just blocked straight up. The third one got the general name and block. But it's the same thing. It's like, you don't own me. You didn't, first of all, you are not a member of the group of people that came and did the evil necessary done to take the United States of America from the rightful inhabitants here, the Native Americans. You didn't even go through the risk of the damnation to get all that done. You were not on the side of buying slaves. No, your forefathers were up there being bought, and because they couldn't manage it on their own, and because no more could be imported after a certain date, we had to be brought here to birth y'all. It's like Dennis Sperling is out there and his friends talking about black men did 180 years. Y'all don't have any descendants before about 1800. You do, all those men cannot be, their ancestors, their children cannot be paid out. They don't have any. They're only descendants after Black women got here. So we only can count from the census of 1800 because the men who worked into the ground, and it was, 25 rotations every 7 years. So every 7 years for 170, 180 years. 25 rotations of men worked into the ground with no issue. They have no descendants. So whatever you pay in Black men, you pay in Black women. Because our foremothers birthed the survivors. What you mean? Y'all were not sufficient to keep the United States going. So our foremothers had to come here and get bought and sold, raped, and work, and give up our children, and watch everybody we love sold up around us, and have to go take care of the kids of the people that were doing it to us. Hello? You didn't do any of the work to be able to commandeer the access. But you want to come like the overbaked version of Thomas Jefferson. No. Do I look like Sally Hemings? I look like Sally Hemings toward about the time that Thomas Jefferson finally died off. She was 50. I'm 43. No, it is a cold feeling when you live in a culture where even the good men walk up on you like you're their unbossed slave. Like whatever it was you were doing before they decided to roll back in or roll back into your life doesn't matter. The man who got the general naming block had a whole situation that I know nothing about that he expected me to figure out how to fix for him. I'm like, you used to work for who? You used to do what now? And you don't have the skills to figure this out? Oh, you got bit for real. But what does that have to do with me? So about that, I said, well, I don't know anything about that, but I'll pray that you find the right person. No. And about the second part, you want to learn about cryptocurrency? That's fantastic. Put the money down. Like Auntie Love said, put the money in the bank. And then we'll talk. And like I said, I'm going to be offering coaching based on the book. And I'll give him the same community rate if his ego recovers from that. I doubt it. But that's the beauty of general naming block. It does give you an opportunity to make a comeback. Dumb truck man, he never gets to come back. That particular relative of mine, he disappeared. Because he realized he wasn't going to get anything he wanted out of the situation. He wasn't sincere when he came, and he wasn't sincere when he left. And great, bye, gone. Get out. Please, leave. Get the door locked behind you. No. I have determined I will not be treated as an unbossed slave. I will not. Any man of any color that approaches me with that mindset will be dismissed in the manner of my choosing. It will not be safe. It will not be cute. It will not be enjoyable. And like I said, I don't have to flip out and become personally disrespectful. I don't have to do any of that. Like Queen Amani Reynolds, who sent Caesar Augustus the golden arrows, you don't have to come out of your. Now, of course, that's a choice. Auntie Love would tell you come out with the language and 9mm 380. That's a choice. You have a right to your choice. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying it's not necessary to let people get you into your fields so that they bring you out of whatever it is you want to do. You just got to make up your mind in advance. I will not be treated by anyone as their unbought slave. You come correct or you get dismissed. Period. Because that doesn't feel good. See, that's not a feeling of love. That's a cold, cold winter feeling. And my springtime is coming. It'll be spring in 9 days, y'all. That's a cold feeling. And Auntie Love has taught us. I'm a graduate of the Becoming the Self-Confident Black Woman. Once can be an accident, twice is a coincidence, three times the pattern, a behavior pattern. And in fact, there are so many good men who have this behavior pattern. That's a pattern of the culture. Every now and again, I meet this in women. Let me quickly get a dislike on my post. There was an individual with a temerity, and I don't know if the individual still hate watches or not, or has become indifferent. You know what? I'm not gonna put that person all the way out there. Because the thing about it is, just because they don't care doesn't mean that I don't. But it was a woman, and she made the most chilling suggestion. And it's one of the very few people that not directly get a free copy from me because of the suggestion of how much entitlement she thought she would have to how this book came out. But because I still care about this person, I'm not going to put them out there to the extent. Auntie Love knows. She was there when it went down. And although Auntie Love and I have eternal disagreements on some things, I respect the wisdom that I have learned from her about living in this world as a free Black woman and how we do not have to take mistreatment from anyone. The occasions to go back into the scripture and be like, I haven't thought about that for a while, but you know what? That's true. That has been misused against Black women. That was never intended to be used as a club against us. There are still, it's 2024. The day that I'm recording this is March 10th, so 9 days. When you see this, it'll be March 12th. March 12th, or March 13th, maybe Wednesday. See how many videos I have in this past. I've done a couple. It is 2024, and there are still people with an expectation that a random Black person that they've never met have lifelong dreams and just think that she's gonna drop everything she's doing and just make their stuff manifest like an unbossed slave. Ain't nobody offered me any money, any compensation, or anything. Just I'm supposed to just do this because our grandfather's brother's nephew's cousin's friend, cousin, or I knew you long time ago and we finally got back in touch. You finally reached out to me because you dropped the ball with another man and you need me to be the fixer. Or our families have known each other forever and a day. You did not even bother to honor that fact in how you greeted me. You did not even ask me about the family member that you know. You dishonored my father. You dishonored me in that approach. But I'm very strategic in my blocks. Because if he does get around the general name and block, we're going to have to talk about that. But by the time he gets around that, he will have humbled himself sufficiently so that he'll realize we have to do that. People come with their naked want and their naked inadequacies, and we're supposed to pick them up and put them back on the tit. No! No. I'm refusing to be an unbossed slave. May I recommend you do the same? And gentlemen, should it be reversed? There are a few women out there. Should it be reversed? You can refuse it too. Black men were in slavery long enough. The full from 1619 up to about 1800, there were more black male slaves by a vast amount. You've been through enough too. There are a few narcissistically evil women out there. Reject them too. You too are not unbossed slave. And for those of you who are good men, the last thing you need is Satan's daughter. That's the last thing you need. Sergeant Love himself has a very tragic story. And he told me, he said, what still surprised me was that all she saw was uniform. She didn't even know who I was. I'm like, well, he was very young then. I did not tell him to choose better. He already had. But he already did. But I said, that's kind of a thing. He said, I didn't even know that was a thing. I said, now military men are not even attempting to date while in uniform. They go ahead and retire, and then when they can be more low key, then they go, because it is sort of a thing. Women out there hunting folks like this. It does happen. It does happen. Men too can be treated like unbossed slaves. So what we have to do is we're going to determine we're not doing it. We're not letting anybody do it to us. And if we determine to be free, as Black women in particular, because that's most of my audience, but as Black men, this is for you too. You determine you're not going to do it and that it's not going to be done to you. We're going to determine to be free and to, like my student reminded me of the quote from Bell Hooks, we're going to learn how to do things for ourselves and learn how to work things out for ourselves so we do not come at each other with all this need and all this greed and all this desire to just enslave somebody. We gotta grow and heal past that. In the meantime, in between time, y'all know what to do. We about 10 chronicles deep now. Y'all know what to do. And there'll be more information coming. I got more stories to tell y'all. You gotta remove these people from your life. Because it is a cold feeling. But like Auntie Love said on Wild Aunties, gotta get over the fairy tale. Fairy tale is there's all these people out there that actually love us and want to take care of us and want to be with us and provide and protect and nurture and benefit our lives. It is a myth. It's a fairy tale. And you believe in a fairy tale will have you out here being somebody's unbought slave. Don't do it. Because I'm not. No. Thank y'all for listening. Y'all have a good day now. Bye.